Discover what full-service broking can do for you with Sharekhan's Weekly Market Guide.
Hello everyone, hope you are all healthy and safe. Welcome back to the Sharekhan Weekly Market Guide podcast. This podcast will help you stay informed with the Indian markets. Kindly note that this is an informational piece and not a recommendation. Let us see some important news that stood out in the last week. Markets slipped for the third week in a row. Sensex and Nifty slipped 2% each. Midcap Index and Nifty Bank were down by 1%. PSU banks, FMCG and IT were the biggest losing indices for the week. On the COVID front, India added a record of more than 3 lakh cases in the last 24 hours, taking the total cases to around 16.2 million. Oxygen supply shortage was in the news all over. This week, in his address to the nation, Prime Minister Modi ruled out any nationwide lockdown as a measure to curb COVID-19 pandemic, urging states to use lockdowns only as the last resort. For this week, India Inc. will continue to report its March quarterly earnings. Auto majors and some bigger banks would be in focus as they unveil their quarterly results this week. Trend in the global stock markets will dictate the domestic trend in the near term. The key things to watch out for in the near future would be US bond yields, because any rise in the yields would result in FIIs taking out money from developing countries like India and could be a risk for emerging market currencies. In the US, major macroeconomic data to watch out during the week would be crude oil inventories, Fed interest rate decision, FOMC statement, US GDP numbers, manufacturing PMI, and pending home sales. On the domestic front, updates related to COVID-19 cases, the vaccination drive, and state governments' decisions will be closely watched. Now let us take a look at the important stocks announcing results in this week. Now let us take a look at the upcoming corporate actions. It's been a pleasure bringing you the Sharekhan podcast, and thank you for listening in as always. For more details, disclosures and disclaimers, please refer to our research report or contact our nearest branch. Please read the risk disclosure documents issued by SEBI and relevant exchanges, and terms and conditions on www.sharekhan.com before investing.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.